Across the European Union, a shadow looms large over the agricultural sector. The ambitious promise of a Green Deal for a sustainable future is, for many farmers, turning into a nightmare of economic collapse. We are witnessing an unprecedented wave of bankruptcies, with estimates suggesting up to 50,000 farms face imminent closure. This isn't merely an economic downturn, it's a systemic crisis. It threatens the very fabric of Europe's food security and rural communities. We must scrutinize the policies driving this agricultural exodus. The European Green Deal, launched with fanfare, aimed to make Europe climate neutral by 2050. Its agricultural component, the farm-to-fork strategy, laid out targets for reducing pesticide use, antibiotic sales, and nutrient loss, alongside boosting organic farming. These goals were presented as essential for environmental protection and public health. However, the practical application of these noble ideals has proven devastating. Farmers, the frontline stewards of Europe's land, argue they are being crushed under the weight of unrealistic demands. The rhetoric of sustainability often overlooks the economic realities of food production. New regulations demand significant changes to farming practices. Targets for cutting pesticide use by 50% and fertilizer use by 20% by 2030 are particularly impactful. Achieving these reductions often means lower yields and increased vulnerability to pests and diseases, directly impacting profitability. Biodiversity targets compel farmers to set aside productive land, further reducing their output. Compliance requires substantial investment in new equipment and methods, yet financial support and compensation mechanisms remain insufficient. This creates an impossible economic equation for many family-run operations. European farmers are now forced to compete with imports from regions unburdened by similar stringent environmental standards. While domestic producers face soaring operational costs due to green mandates, products from outside the EU can enter the market cheaper. This disparity creates an unfair competitive landscape. The result is a squeeze on profit margins that is unsustainable. Many farmers are left with no choice but to cease operations, abandoning generations of agricultural heritage. This isn't just about individual businesses, it's about the economic viability of an entire sector. The ripple effects of these bankruptcies extend far beyond the farm gate. They threaten Europe's food sovereignty, making the continent more reliant on external food sources. This poses significant geopolitical and logistical risks, especially in an increasingly unstable world. Furthermore, the social fabric of rural communities is being torn apart. Fewer farms mean fewer jobs, less local spending, and the erosion of cultural traditions. The widespread farmer protests across Europe are a clear cry for help, highlighting a profound disconnect between policymakers and those on the land. Calling it a scam reflects the deep sense of betrayal felt by many farmers and citizens. While perhaps not an intentional deception, the policies have undeniably led to a systematic undermining of European agriculture. The grand vision of a green future has, in practice, become a direct threat to those who feed us. This situation demands an urgent, comprehensive re-evaluation of the Green Deal's agricultural component. We must confront whether the current path is truly sustainable, or if it is merely exchanging one set of problems for another, far more dangerous, one. The future of European food production hangs in the balance.